What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. If you missed it, David Tepper over the weekend, as the Panthers were busy getting shut out and losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars, David Tepper, the owner, threw a drink on a Jags fan out of his suite. Just a ridiculous look for any adult, much less the owner of the Carolina Panthers, who is worth over $20 billion. Now, I'm not that surprised. We've talked about Tepper before. Remember, this is the same man who one of his prized possessions in his office was a giant set of cartoonishly veiny brass balls with an inscription about, like, the most valuable asset you have. So the guy's kind of a D-bag to begin with, right? But it's, again, being an adult, throwing a drink on another adult, much less when is already absurd. And then when you're the owner, it gets even more ridiculous. So the NFL fined him $300. Or excuse me, $300,000
to him.
Exactly.
It wasn't even $300 to him.
So they fined him $300,000, and it's funny in a couple of ways. First off, $300,000 for a drink is wildly expensive. Like, that is a very expensive drink. To make a decision like that and have $300K exit your life is insanity. The second wild part of that is, unless you're David Tepper, as Darren Ravel doing some napkin math here, if we take the $20.6 billion net worth of Tepper and we compare that to the net worth of the average American, that $300,000 fine, and if this doesn't make you think about the wealth gap or anything like that, that's just, that $300,000 fine is the equivalent to the average American being fined $1.77. Not even $2. Not even $2. This man has so much money, $300K. Life-changing money for the vast majority of us is not even $2. I mean, maybe after tax he could buy a Dasani, but I'm not even sure about that with how prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Can't even get a gallon of gas with what David Tepper was fined. Unreal, dude. Unreal. And I'm not even raising a big stink over fining more because, I don't know, like $300,000 still $300,000.
Yeah.
It's just wild that what I will continue to make fun of Tepper for is he's been a god-awful owner. He took over in 2019. They're 31-67, and he's fired 3 coaches since that season opener in 2019.
Oof.
What I also want to make fun of him for is, hey, bro, take some responsibility. Did you see his statement on throwing the drink? You're going to talk about someone who obviously the $1.77 fine did not affect anything, didn't make him learn anything. He just seems like such an immature little loser to me. He says, quote, "I am deeply passionate about this team and regret my behavior on Sunday. I should have let NFL Stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL codes of conduct and accept league's discipline for my behavior. Nary an apology to be seen. Excuse making. Blaming it on the guy that he threw the drink on." How about this, David Tepper? How about you just be an adult and you be like, yeah, I'm sorry. I acted, I was in the wrong and I should not have done that. Nothing a basic Jaguars fan can say to you should make you throw a drink on him. You're an owner. He's just a fan of the team. Your behavior is beyond pathetic. And boys, that is the man who, if you're a Saints fan, you have to rely on this Sunday to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Taylor's boyfriend, Baker Mayfield, to give the Saints a chance at winning the NFC South. We are screwed.
Well, it's funny that
Do you want to make
he
it?
did that because he claims that he's a man of patience. If you guys remember, he says, I'm a man of patience. Everyone knows me. So, I mean, the Jaguars fan must have done something bad to him.
Yeah, well, he should have let NFL security handle it. Because he said something.
even though he's
he said
fired-
something very mean to me. He may have even flicked him off.
Look, throws a drink on fan. T-Bob fires 2 coaches before the season's over in their first year, but he does have a lot of patience. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, a man who, not at all, not impulsive. Not at all impulsive, right? Also, remember, this is the same guy who owns the MLS team there, which made the playoffs in their first year, and he fired the coach.
Yeah. Incredible, like attendance numbers and like everything. Fire him, get rid of him.
You suck, David Tepper.
The only
Straight
thing
up.
that can save the
You
Saints.
suck in so many ways. The fact that guys like you manage to make that amount of money is just makes me sick.
The only thing that can save the Saints' playoff hopes, bring in the Red Rifle.
Wait, yeah, because he plays for Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to get rid of Bryce Young.
Yeah, let him ride.
Wow.
Let him do
of
the Saints
Andy
a solid.
The irony of Andy Dalton
Right?
being the key
Yeah.
to the Saints winning the NFC South.
Yeah. Bring in the Red Rifle, allow him to come in and get a victory.
I feel like he's good at that kind of thing.
I know.
I remember a few years ago the Bills made the playoffs for the first time in like ever with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback, and they needed the Bengals to beat somebody. I forgot who it was, but they had a terrible record, and Andy Dalton just came through in that game and was clutch and threw a game-winning touchdown pass and helped them make the playoffs. So hopefully do the same for New Orleans.
Yeah,
Does
to y'all's point, like he's done this his whole career. Like I know Jake's kind of being tongue in cheek, but like a couple years ago, it was the game where Dak broke his ankle. Remember, he's out for the year.
You weren't here for my Andy Dalton love fest, though.
Okay.
You hadn't started the show
Well,
yet.
it was like week 3 of the season. Dak breaks his ankle, but he's played really bad that game. The Cowboys are trailing. Andy Dalton comes in, leads them back-to-back scoring drives, and they win the game. Okay, and then like he held them afloat that year. So like he's done this in multiple stops.
I would say this. Look, Jake, you were right about Derek Carr. I still disagree with you about Dalton. Like you're getting the same thing you got for way more money, which is awful.
That was my whole point.
But I was still in no way excited about
No,
Andy Dalton. I
and
still don't think the stats
right.
told the whole story there.
And I get it, even though they were better at analytics. I get what you're saying. But
Yeah.
you paid, just like we talked about with Baker Mayfield. Now, I didn't play true on Sunday, but like you were getting more production from Baker Mayfield at like $4 million per year
Yeah.
than you were from Derek Carr. So it was like the amount of money that initially was the thing I was questioning the most.
So I know if the Saints win and then the Panthers beat the Bucks, which you want to beat the Falcons no matter what. So that's why you asked me, Jake, do you want to win the South? I don't know if I do, but I do know that I want to beat the Falcons. You don't want to go 0-2 versus the Falcons and then have the Saints organization try to sell you on bringing Dennis Allen back. If you lose to the Desmond Ridder / Taylor Heineke Falcons with the worst OC in the entire NFL in Arthur Smith, if you lose both those games, that could be a Humpty Dumpty moment.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know, you weren't here yesterday. Nick Underhill basically told us he thinks it's way more likely than not Allen's coming back, no matter what. Already done. So, so if that's also the case, then yeah, I want to be the Falcons anyway, because like whatever, it doesn't matter, right? And
What are we missing here?
What
are we missing? Like, we've
I
both
don't
done
know.
this for a long time. We've been involved in the game a long time. If you don't produce, you don't have a job. If you don't show signs of growth, you don't have a job. What are we missing here? What are we not seeing?
I'm trying to think like
that the front office is seeing.
Maybe it's a bit of like when you draft like a second rounder and he's not that good, but then you keep him anyway because you kind of need him to be good. Like you went so hard on Derek Carr that it's like, no, we're going to go all in on trying to make Carr work. But even if that's the case, it's like, well, I don't think DA is the guy to do that, right? But maybe even there is some hubris in that, well, no, we chose DA and we're going to get, and it wasn't, it had, like if you win, you finish 9-8. I guess that's a 2-game improvement. It's a winning record. But I'll be damned if it doesn't feel fake to me, given the ease of, the relative ease. It is the NFL, but the ease of schedule that you had this season. Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like he is coming back. So beat the Falcons. Do we know about Mario? Are you up to date on the wild card scenarios? I am not.
Yeah, so the Saints need to win. I know they need Chicago to beat Green Bay, and they need Arizona to beat Seattle. And the Saints can win or tie in that scenario, but they need those two teams to come through.
Don't feel great. about the Seattle-Arizona game. Though, division game, and Arizona coming off the big win last week. Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't care. I'm not even worried about that. All I want, though, I do want the Saints to be the Falcons.
Yeah.
Like to your point, Jake, draft picks are out the window, whatever. And even now, Penix looks so sexy and exciting that if he's the fourth guy, I'll trade up to go get Michael Penix Jr., right? I don't think the Saints will.
That's why I like Cam Moore going to this year's draft.
Crazy.
I'm like, man, you see the guys that are good. This is a really, really solid quarterback class. I'm not saying you're not a good player, but you can continue to grow because you've grown every year you've been in college. And come on back, you could be next year's Michael Penix potentially.
Yeah, true. And next year, I mean, who's like projecting forward? It's kind of Beck and Ewers that are going to be the top
And
rated guys.
Shadur Sanders.
Excuse me? And who?
Shadur?
No, I know you said Shadur, but that accent hit a little different. It sounded like to me, like you said you're about to maybe go a euphemism for how people talk about the toilet sometime.
Yeah.
You said Shadur, but a little quicker, like
Itter.
Shitter, like Shitter Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's full.
Shitter Sanders.
It's full. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why
I was like,
huh?
what could I have been misinterpreted here? Yeah, him, that guy.
That's true. And Shadur. I forgot about Shadur. Yeah.
Sanders.
No doubt.
And trying to think, I feel like there's one more that we're missing out here, but still, I mean, not.
I'm sure there is, but the point is, it's a way less
Shadur there
crowded
is?
room. Yeah. Shadur there is. Shadur there is. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.